Hey, this is Alex Yoder with Pro Tip Tuesday, my favorite day of the week. And today we're going to talk about furnace filters. This will probably be a pretty quick video, but I just wanted to give a couple tips on how to handle those. Now, the challenge is that the majority of tenants will never change their furnace filter. Even if your lease is very clear about changing those every 30 or 60 days, they will never get changed. Statistically, around 90% of tenants never change their furnace filters. So you can either, one, chalk that up as a business expense, or two, you can find some way to make sure the filter gets changed. Now, your immediate thought might be, well, maybe if I provide a full year of filters out the gate, these tenants will change those out because now they don't have to go to the store and get the appropriate size and deal with the headache of all of that. However, I can tell you as a property manager, a management company owner who's been in business for around 15 years, that does not work. I've seen owners do that, and the box will still be sitting there when the tenant vacates. So how do you encourage a tenant to do that? Obviously, you could have some lease language which holds them liable for damages, but the challenge there is that when there is an issue with the furnace, it's not always black and white that the filter is what caused it. So now you have kind of contention. It's not cut and dry, and you just are kind of creating headaches for yourself, in my opinion. I think the best way to go, if you're not going to just chalk that up as a business expense, is to go ahead and enroll the property into one of these filter programs where the filter and instructions on how to change the filter are mailed to the door of the property. In Colorado Springs, I'd probably do that every other month or something. But set them up for a program. That way the filter comes to their front door and has those instructions. It's the size filter they need, and they can just stick that thing right into the furnace. That, in my opinion, is the way to go. And when we've looked at the statistics on that, what we're seeing is around 90% of tenants are now changing those furnace filters instead of 90% not changing the furnace filter. So it makes a drastic difference. Now, what's crazy is you might think, well, why wouldn't they change their filter? They're probably being impacted in a severe way in their monthly utility bill. But I can't tell you the number of times that we've had an annual service done on the furnace where it's just packed full of dust and dirt, and you can tell it's never been changed, and you can't even imagine how hard that furnace is trying to push the air through that filter to heat the home, and how that furnace is probably running 24/7 just to keep it at a reasonable temperature, and how much that's costing the tenant. But for some reason, it just is not something that people remember to do, and is not something that tenants are very well known for doing. Even homeowners aren't very well known for doing that. It's just something one more thing you have to remember to do on a regular basis. And folks just aren't really good at kind of making sure that happens. So again, a filter program is the way to go. Now you can really go about that one of two ways. Either you can just pay for it as a homeowner and hope that you get kind of an offset on avoiding additional maintenance costs on the furnace, or you can simply have the tenant pay for it as part of your lease requirement. I'm a huge fan of doing it that way because really it's going to, again, cut down on their monthly bill anyway, and they should be changing it. So it's their responsibility in most cases in a residential lease. Now, not every lease is the same, so I don't want to say broadly that that's how it always happens, but that's pretty common to require the tenant to handle those and to change out those filters. So that is, in my opinion, the way to go. But again, the alternative is to simply chalk it up to a business expense and understand that it's not going to get changed very often. You can go either way. I'm a huge fan of the filter program option. And while we're on that topic, I'm a huge fan of a company called Filter Easy. It's actually now called Second Nature. So I would encourage you to look at their website and see how their programs are set up for these filters that come on whatever interval you've set it up for. So anyway, Alex Yoder, Dorman Real Estate Management, Pro Tip Tuesday. Again, my favorite day of the week. And we will come back to you next week. Have a great rest of your day. Goodbye.